So speaking of commerce, because it does, beg the question, like it's going to be important in this, right? You have this essentially ability to advertise. Do you today have the ability on these platforms to then monetize directly on platform? You had mentioned, these girls were going off platform to purchase directly on the website. Do you see a world where Roblox, Fortnite are transacting and facilitating this commerce where, maybe you have an avatar pick up a Nike shoe and it's a digital one and you get it both in the game and then it's also shipped to you in the real life? Is, how far away from that world are we? Because I would love to be living it. I think it would be so cool.
It is. I mean, imagine walking around and walking around a game world that you suddenly see some item that you would love to own for your avatar, and how natural that would be. I mean, it's so difficult for me to go sometimes and and find clothing that I love on like Farfetch or Theory. I'm kind of disclosing some of my places, some of my go-to places. And so imagine for these young audiences, especially, and again, it goes back to what is the velocity of adoption, Angie, that you talked about, right? And why what's happening now, it's really transformative because we go to an e-commerce website. I go to my phone, I go to the app, I'm like scrolling down, I see stuff. That's not how this generation is going to discover products. They will be discovering, and I'm answering your question, Nick, which is, I believe to a large extent, this particular generation is going to discover things in the worlds they live in these virtual spaces that are where they are embedded and have a sense of presence. There are so many implications and logistical questions to answer your question of how we actually make that happen. How do you see a virtual good and you want it as a physical good, and then you click and you purchase and it arrives to your home through an